This lesson we'll be considering algebraic process. Our emphasis is going to be on quadratic equations. Quadratic equations are equations that has 2 as the highest power of a variable. Okay, so how we get to know quadratic equation is when you see 2 as the highest power in the equation given. Quadratic equation comes in this form: ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. Alright, like we said earlier, we said it has 2 as the highest power of the variable. This is the 2 that is the highest power. It can appear here, can appear here, can appear here, wherever, but wherever, as far as you find 2 as the highest power, it means that's a quadratic equation. Alright, from here we have the coefficient of x squared is a, coefficient of x is b, c is the constant. Okay, all equal to 0. Remember, we are talking about equation, that is why we equate it to 0. Now, we have several ways of solving quadratic equation. We have the factorization method, we have completing the square method, we have solving for perfect squares, and then finally we also talk about using quadratic formula. Alright, today we will be focusing on factorization method. In this lesson, we'll be considering factorization method. Okay, giving an example as this: 2x squared plus 13x is equal to 15. Remember what we said? We said x squared. You can see the square has appeared here. Remember, we say equal to 0. So for we to solve this, we have to make it look like the general form. Okay, so we have 2x squared plus 13x. Then you move 15 over, minus 15. This was positive 15. Moving it over, it become negative 15 is equal to 0. Now we have to look for the sum and product. The sum of this and then the product of minus 15 and 2x squared. Multiply them together. 2x squared multiplied by minus 15 will give us minus 30x squared. Now you will look for the product that will give us minus 30x and then the sum that will give us 13x. Alright, so looking for that, we are going to look for factors of 30. Let's use 30 to get the factors. 2 divide 30 gives us 15. 3 divide 15 gives us 5. And then 5 divide 5 gives us 1. Now remember, I said we are looking for 2 factors. Write out the last number and the first number. The first number, the one carrying x squared, and then the last number minus 15 equal to 0. So we are looking for 2 factors that will come in between 2x squared and minus 15. Now for us to get, these are 3 factors, but we only need 2. So let me multiply 2 times 3, it gives me 6, times 5 gives me 30. This is the product. So if I put negative here, this is minus 30. Now if I try to do the sum, minus 6 minus 5, okay, the sum, minus 6 minus 5 gives me minus 11. We can see it did not give us 13. And if we try it as both numbers are positive, 6 plus 5, it will give us 11. You can see it did not give us the what we are looking for, the product and the sum. We try 5 times 2, or let's try 3 times 5. 3 times 5 gives me 15. Then 15 times 2 gives me 30. So let's make sure one has a negative number. Minus 15 times 2 gives me minus 30. Okay, so if we say minus 15 plus 2 to give us negative 13, but we're looking for positive 13, that means the smaller number is the one that will carry the negative number. So we have 15 minus 13 minus 2 is equal to 13. Now we can use this factor. So pick negative 2x. You introduce your x back again. Here you can't use x because you want to look for the factor of a number. So now you introduce back your variable, the variable x plus 15x. Remember I said we are using factorization method. Now let's factor out the common numbers between these two numbers. You can see we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So we group them in two to factor out what is common between them. Numbers that are common here and variable that is common is 2x. Okay, you can see 2x divided by 2x. X will cancel one of the x, 2 will cancel, so we are left with x. X minus 2x divided by 2x is 1, plus what is common here is 15. Okay, so what's left here is now x minus 1. Always remember, whatever you get in this bracket, whether negative number, if it's carry negative, this one must also carry negative. So you pick one of the numbers in the bracket, one of the factors in the bracket. X minus 1, you picked one, then you pick the factors outside. 2x plus 15 is equal to 0. Alright, so let's look for the unknown x. You equate x minus 1 is equal to 0, and as well as you equate 2x plus 15 equal to 0. So let's look for the value of x. The value of x here is equal to 0 plus 1, which gives me 1. X is equal to 1, or the value of x here is 2x is equal to, this is positive 15, moving over it becomes negative 15. Negative 15, divide both sides by 2, so that you'll be left with x. So our x here will now be equal to minus 15 over 2. Or you can say it's minus 7 whole number 1 over 2. Now that's that. When you are given this, we can also try another example, giving us the second example as d square minus 5d plus 6 is equal to 0. Okay, so now remember what we did in the first one. Multiply 6 times d squared, that's 6d squared. Okay, just like we did in the first one. We say d squared, and then we write the last number, plus 6 is equal to 0. Look for factor of 6. Remember how we look for factors? 2 divided 6 is 3, 3 divided, that's 1. So this one we only have 2 factors, so we are not multiplying anything together with 1. So we have 2 times 3 will give us 6, that's positive 6. So if we want to get negative 5, let's attach negative, negative. Minus times minus is plus, 2 times 3 gives us 6. So we have minus 2 minus 3 will give us minus 5. Now you can see that we can make use of this as a factor. So we have minus 2d. Remember what we are using here is d. And then minus 3d. Okay, so remember what we did the last time? We group. You group these two and group these two. And look for what is common and factor it out. That is what we call it factorization. Factor out what is common. D is common here, so we are left with d minus 2. What is common here is 3. Introduce your minus back again. 3, open the bracket. D is also what is left off. And then minus 2. I know you'll be asking, how come this was plus and then this changed to? It means if you are coming back to this answer, minus 3 times d will give you minus 3d. Then minus times minus will give us plus. Then 3 times 2 gives us back 6. You can see our answer still remain the same. So we pick out 1 out of the d minus 2. So we have d minus 2. Then bring out the factor outside as well. D minus 3 equal to 0. Now you look for the two values of d. Remember what we said, we are looking for 2 values, okay, because of the squared. So we have d minus 2 is equal to 0, and then d minus 3 is equal to 0. So getting it, we say d is equal to 0 plus 2. D is equal to 2. And here we say d is equal to 0 plus 3. D is equal to 3. Okay, so you see we've gotten the two answers or two values for the unknown d. The first unknown d is 2, the second unknown is 3. From the first example we did, the first unknown is 1 and the second unknown is negative 7 whole number 1 over 2. I hope you're able to understand factorization method of algebraic process in a quadratic equation. So in the next class we'll be talking about other methods of solving quadratic equation.